Welcome to the deep dive. If you're tuning in, chances are you're trying to get a clearer picture of Fort Lauderdale.
Right, the real estate market, cost of living, all that.
Exactly. And that's what we're digging into today. We're really focusing on housing costs, affordability.
The big questions people have.
Definitely. And look, if you're actually thinking about buying or selling there, listen up for a sec. Antonio Ortega LLC, well, they offer something pretty significant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you should visit AntonioOrtegaLLC.com. Right now, actually, you can find out how to get 10% of his professional fee back towards your closing costs.
Wow. Okay, that's actual savings.
It really is
Uh,
a good opportunity. Anyway, we've gone through some sources, specifically the article Fort Lauderdale Cost of Living Explained for You.
a good breakdown.
Yeah, so our mission here is just to give you a solid understanding, housing costs in different neighborhoods, overall affordability, the real deal.
Okay, let's jump in then. Housing costs. That's usually the main thing on people's minds. In Fort Lauderdale, it's got a bit of everything. Waterfront condos, nice single-family homes further inland.
It's not just one type of market.
Not at all. The average home price, it floats around, what, $550,000?
Yeah.
But that's just an average.
It doesn't tell the whole story. The neighborhoods are where it gets interesting.
Exactly.
That article we looked at, it really it highlights those differences. Like, take Victoria Park, super close to Los
Well,
Olas.
why, very lively area.
Yeah, and the prices reflect that. You're looking generally what? $750,000, maybe up to $1.2 million?
That sounds about right. And you're paying for that location premium, the walkability, all the stuff nearby.
Makes sense.
Then you shift over to, say, Coral Ridge if you're into boating. That's a big draw there. Lots of waterfront access.
Ah, okay, so more expensive then.
Typically, yeah. Homes there, maybe $800,000 up to $1.5 million, sometimes more. It's that direct water access, often bigger lots too.
And waterfront property, that tends to hold value, doesn't it? Because, well, they're not making any more of it.
That's generally true, yeah. Limited supply.
So, okay, that's mid to upper range. What about the really high end?
Right. If you're looking at like ultra luxury, Harbor Beach comes to mind.
Okay.
Often gated communities, prime waterfront, big estates. You're probably starting around $1.5 million, but it easily goes way up, over $5 billion.
Wow. Okay, quite the range then. But what about more budget-friendly options? Are there any?
Yeah, absolutely. The article mentioned a couple, like Lauderdale Manors. Prices there might start in the $275,000.
Okay, that's more accessible.
And Riverland, too. More family-oriented, maybe starting in the mid-$300,000.
So you trade off maybe immediate beach access, but you're still close to city stuff.
Pretty much, yeah. Different lifestyle, different price point. Still Fort Lauderdale, though.
Gotcha. And what about places with, like, historic character?
Good question. Rio Vista has that vibe. Historic charm, still with waterfront views in parts, but pricey.
How pricey?
You could be looking at $1.2 million up to $3 million or so. The architecture, the established feel, that adds value.
Yeah.
And maybe Tarpon River. Popular if you work downtown. A bit more accessible for single-family homes, maybe $550,000 to $900,000 range, roughly.
Okay, so a real mix. Now, not everyone's buying immediately. What about renting? That's a huge part of the market, too.
Definitely. And the article gave some numbers there, too. A one-bedroom apartment could be anywhere from, say, $1,900 to $2,600 a month.
And two bedrooms?
Usually bumps up, maybe $2,400 to $3,400.
And I assume just like buying, location is everything for rent prices.
Oh, absolutely. You want to be near the ocean,
Right.
or downtown, or in a hot neighborhood like Victoria Park. You're going to pay more rent.
Makes sense. Further west, maybe less expensive.
Generally, yeah. The article sort of hinted at that, like areas off Sunrise Boulevard might offer lower rents. It's that classic trade-off, convenience versus cost.
So, okay, pulling it all together, the big question, affordability. Can, a regular person afford to live in Fort Lauderdale?
Well, according to the source we looked at, it seems like, yeah, it can be manageable. It suggested that someone earning around $60,000 a year could make it work.
Really? 60K?
That was the figure mentioned.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you earn more, you have more flexibility, more choices.
That's actually pretty encouraging for a major Florida city.
And don't forget the tax situation. Florida has no state income tax.
Right. That's a huge factor for your overall budget. It definitely helps the bottom line.
For sure. So yeah, the sheer variety of housing from those starter homes up to the luxury estates means different income levels might find their spot.
It really just drives home that point, doesn't it? You have to research the specific neighborhoods, find what fits your budget, your lifestyle.
Exactly. Luxury waterfront or maybe a more budget-friendly community inland. The options seem to be there.
They do. And look, as you're figuring all this out, navigating the market, remember what I mentioned earlier for real expert help with buying or selling.
Antonio Ortega, LLC.
Yeah, check out AntonioOrtegaLLC.com. Seriously, go look right now. See the details on getting that 10% of his fee towards your closing costs.
That could be a big chunk of change saved.
Huge savings, potentially, especially when you're finding your place in Fort Lauderdale. So really understanding these costs, the neighborhood differences, that's your essential first step.
Couldn't agree more.
So, take some time. Think about what neighborhood really clicks with what you need and what you can afford. Explore those options.